So right now I'm just checking documentation to actually see what the function name is, and it actually is application.getCreated user scene tagged object. If you don't know about this, well, it's pretty much you can Google Shiva 3D documentation and you are going to land on the page. You can, like, there's a lot of stuff here, like all of my knowledge actually came from here, just exploring the documentation. There's to get started, editor, script, like you guys should actually read through this stuff, it's really good. Anyways, we're gonna get back to the code. So over here where we left off, so application dot okay, there we go. S object tag, so pretty much just asking for the string and the object tag. Over here, as you remember, we named them enemy, enemy1, and enemy2. So I'm gonna name this one enemy. I'm just gonna copy and paste this and have two more. Enemy1, enemy2. Okay, now the code actually recognizes the three boxes and we can manipulate boxes using code. So now what we actually need is to move the boxes. So to move the boxes, I'm actually going to create a function. Let's call this function move update enemies. How about that? Okay. So in this, let's just create a local variable called counter equals 0. Oh, forgot, no semicolons in Lua. Local enemy count equals table dot get size, each table value is this dot enemy. So over here what I'm pretty much getting is how many of the enemies are there. We know that there are 3, but like if we update the code and we want to add more anytime, we wouldn't have to update this function. It would just recognize it and just use it as it is. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is while counter is less than enemy count, we are going to do okay. So this is pretty much like the syntax for Lua. Anyways, so what we're gonna do is we're going to move the enemies. So first, let's just increment counter, and over here we'll move the enemies. So we're going to have object dot translate, and this is asking for the object, the new position X, new position Y, new position Z, and the K space where you're moving. The object is pretty much as we declared before, are these. This dot enemy, like it's in the table enemy, and it's at indices 1, 0, actually 0, that's 0, that's 1, that's 2. So if you go back to the function, we can do this dot since this is in a table, actually it's going to be table dot get at, and it's asking for the table name, which is this dot enemy, and then it's asking for the index, which is pretty much going to be counter. So okay, since we have that, now we actually need a new position of X. Let's name it 0.01. Position Y 0, position Z 0, and K space is going to be object dot okay global space. Okay. Okay, so we have the function set. This is pretty much going to, every time this function is being called, it's going to move all the enemies 0.01 units in the x direction. So now what we actually need to do is create another handler called onInterFrame. OnInterFrame is actually called every single frame, right? So if the game runs on 30 frames a second, it's going to be onInterFrame is going to be called 30 times a second. So pretty much over here, we're going to just call update, and our functions update enemies. Okay, this is actually going to be this dot update enemies. Okay, so all we're doing is just calling the function we created before. Let's go back to onInitiate and actually set the frame rate for our game. This is going to be application dot set min frame rate, and it's asking for the end time. We're going to set it to 1/30. And application dot set max frame rate is also going to be 1/30. Let's just compile this, see if you have any errors. Oh, and there's 0 errors. Hopefully this works. We'll go to preview, and we'll call this. What's going on? There we go. You see they're moving away from us. So we pretty much know what works. It's moving in the x direction positive, and all of them moving at the same time. So what we do, we can go back to the general tab, open up our scene, and this is the main camera. I'm just pressing Alt and scroll wheel. Now I'm pressing Alt and I'm pressing Alt and right clicking, and I'm going up and down. And when you press Alt and left, you can actually rotate the view for the camera. And I'm just gonna set this like that. Go in a little. Okay. Okay. Let's go to preview and try running. Okay. Let's just run it here actually. Yes, I want to save it. And you see the blocks are moving towards you. That's pretty much going to be the end of the tutorial for today, and we'll get back